Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video I'm going to talk more about a person you might do the silent treatment or just the gray rock with, like I mentioned in the last video that I made today. And that's a person who has stepped over a boundary, or it could be that the person is not going to see reality. If it's staring them in the face, if you actually have facts and you're showing them those facts, they're not going to see it. They're only going to see what they believe, but they're only going to think of what is in their mind about something, not the reality of it, but what's in their mind, because they want and they have a purpose for seeing it that way. Those are the type of person I want to talk about. Okay, now I mentioned this one woman before. I know more than one video. And I saw her as quite delusional, but on a lot of things, not just this one thing. And the one I mentioned before was like our boss would put up who met their quota and who made them earn the most money for the company, and would have it listed as 1, 2, and 3, and so forth. And there was this one woman. She was the one that I said that was quite delusional in a lot of things, and those of us in this kind of small office, we knew it. So we knew her. We knew from work. We knew how she was about things. And more than once, she went up to see, which one she was. What did she rank? Number one, or whatever. And number one being the best. Okay. And one time, me and this one guy, I think this happened actually twice. But the first time we went up and we were reading at the same time she was, and it was just put up or something. And I was number one, he was number two, which was kind of usual. It was that way. And she was number 3. But she read it and she pointed and she goes, "Oh, look, I'm number 1. Yes, I'm number 1 again." Or so, she might have said again because, like I said, she did it more than once. And that first time that he and I were both standing there at that time, we looked over at one another and went, whoa, because it was the first time that she's done it. She did something like that in that kind of, right there in front of her face. Fact is fact. She was not number 1. She was number 3. And, but she did it, like I said, on other things too. And I don't know if she ever did anything that when he was around and I wasn't, or and vice versa. Well, I know she did stuff like that when I was around and he wasn't, but not the other way around. But yeah, we kind of knew this is how she was, and there was no sense in arguing with her. No sense in pointing it out, saying, no, that reads 3, not 1. Because we knew her. We knew how she was only going to see what she believed. And she saw herself as number 1. So, okay. Now in that situation, like I said, I worked with her, and at that time in my life I was living by myself. I wasn't going to quit my job because I was working with a woman who just saw things that did not exist. I kept away from her quite a bit. I did have lunch with her and another woman. We were the only 2 women that were mainly there at that time that could go to lunch together. So we went to lunch together. But I had another woman that was with us too. It was the administrative assistant. But yeah, this woman, she was quite delusional. She actually created a relationship in her mind. At least that's how we know it, that it was just in her mind. We don't know it. It could have been something behind the scenes. She was married and he was dating someone, and and just didn't seem to any of us that it was reality, but that it was just in her head. And some of the things she said to me when we were alone one time the administrative assistant didn't go with us. She told me some rather crazy stories about him, that guy, and they did not seem to be reality. But this type of person, runs through my life every blue moon. It comes around, and I know I've learned, if at all possible, the best thing to do is just to go no contact when they're seeing things that aren't real. And with her, I got the feeling that if people didn't believe what she believed, she would make it miserable, for them. So it was one of those things. I'm not getting caught up into your delusion, and going to become your victim and all that. So, and I've learned, just end it, walk away. That's what I've learned. Now, I want to add this. I can't say that for everybody. One size doesn't fit all. It's in my disclaimer. Read it below. Okay. Anyway, mine is not an advice channel. Read the disclaimer, like I said, below this video on YouTube. It's not an advice channel. It's more of my opinions and my experiences. And I want to start doing more on my experiences on jobs. And I woke up this morning thinking more about that I was wanting to do more about this topic, but then I started thinking, well, then I'd have to say what led me to that and what led me to that. Before I knew it, I was all the way back thinking about my ancestors, what led them to be where they were, and that led to this, and you know how that goes. Or maybe you do. But, yeah, I'm still going to try to reduce the stories down a little bit about things I've seen at work, because I know that there was one point, I have a vague memory of this, that there was a point, I don't know what year it was, when it was, what was going on, but I looked online and was thinking, I hope I find something, I'm searching, and I'm hoping to find somebody say, what do you do when this situation happens at work? Not this delusional woman situation, but it was another one. And of course I knew there wasn't going to be anything online about it, because there isn't any one thing, one solution for any kind of problems, any kind of problem or problems, plural, because it's not one size fits all. And even when I was studying, I was working on PhD in counseling and developmental psychology, we would read, about different types of theories, perspectives or paradigms or whatever we were reading, and then sometimes we were reading, well, if you have someone who's doing this, we discuss a certain problem, like a certain kind of addiction or some kind of mental issue, and what would a counselor do? They would never tell you. You'd have a vignette, but it would hint, but it wouldn't tell you to do that. And that's because one size doesn't fit all. No two people are the same, so no two situations are going to be the same. And sometimes situations can be dangerous. So they're not going to say this is the only one, the only way, to resolve an issue. Okay. So anyway, this one goes along with the last video that I made. I hope I put them in order. I've already made the other one public about issues when you might have to be the one that does the silent treatment. And it's not really the silent treatment. Silent treatment is something like, you're going to come back to it. You're just treating them this way right now, maybe but to me it would be more of a no contact or low contact, gray rock, this kind of situation that I'm describing now. But for me, on the one that I am experiencing right now, my best option to me is to just go total no contact, because I don't need the person in my life as it is, and it's been a little bit too much of, that person is seeing only what that person wants to see, okay, and trying to tell me I'm the wrong when the fact is right there, not happening. I don't play that game. I don't play into their delusions, so yeah, and I'm not going to be a part of it all around. So anyway, what about you? Do you have any situations that you've seen like this or you've been through? What was your experience? If you feel like talking about it, if you don't. Leave a comment below. And what did you do? If you feel like sharing that part too. So anyway, if you want to subscribe to this channel and you haven't already, you can click the circle. If you're watching the video on this channel, you can click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you would. And I'll talk to y'all in another video.